I'm John, and this is the Stammerer. Today we're going to be talking about what's it like to stammer. Hold on. So, on the everyday, what's it like to live with a stammer? So, I can only speak for me, and my days are okay, pretty much. I mean, I can do like a lot of stuff. As I've said before past, I try to hide my stammer, so I've learnt to hide it quite well, and people wouldn't necessarily know. But on the everyday, like, say, imagine that you're going to order a coffee or you want to order something, and what happens is this. So people who don't, who can talk, will just stand in line for the coffee, look around a little bit, and they'll look at the board and they'll see the coffees, and they'll see whatever else, and they'll stand in line and they'll just not really have a care in the world. Just may think about their work, they may just think about some stuff. Now when I stand in line and I order, or I'm going to potentially order something, I will stand in the queue, and the conversation in my head goes a little something like this. So I'll be standing there looking around thinking, oh, a latte, that'd be nice, I'd like a latte. What about a hazelnut? Oh, that would be nice. What about cortado? What is a cortado? What? Never had that before. Oh my god. The line is getting smaller. They're going to ask me something. They are going to ask me something. I should be really thinking about that. Do I want a croissant? Can I say croissant today? I don't know. There's a nice cake there. What can I say? And then it's my turn. And then inevitably, they'll ask me, what would you like? And I'll say, I'd like a black Americano. So I'll start to go through all these mental thoughts, and I'm like, it's just constant noise and chat for me just to get black Americano every single time. Just black Americano, nothing else. Strangely enough, when the kids are with me, now that the kids are of a particular age, they can order their own stuff. So there's some stuff that I can say, and if I can't say the thing that they want, then I'll just get them to order it. So yeah, so that's an interesting piece. Pubs. Now, we all like pubs, and I like pubs more now because I can actually say a lot of the stuff, and most pubs now have an app and they'll bring you your drinks to the table. But before all the apps, because I am older now, so there was a time before apps where you had to go to a bar and you had to ask for stuff, and go into a bar where you want to get served but you don't want to get served, and you're standing there at a bar, and your presence at a bar is really quite key because you need to be standing there proud and ordering your drinks. And I used to stand at a bar and trying to stick out my chest, and but at the same time cowering inside, hoping that they would see me but not. So for the longest time I wouldn't go to a pub. It's absolutely ridiculously crazy that because of a stammer, I'm not planning to order drinks at a bar. I would not go to a pub. Or if I would go to a pub and it was my turn to order a round, I would pretend to go to the toilet but give a person the cash to go and buy the first beer, or and again it's just crazy, and then when I did order, I would order drinks that I wouldn't necessarily want. So I always, I think people were always kind of always taken aback by the fact that I'd always have a different drink, or I wouldn't necessarily have a beer, or I'd have something else because that's the thing that I could say, and people would just think that I was a bit strange, or or there'd be times where I would order at a bar, or I would walk up to the bar and I would it 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 would be my turn to order, and I would literally just go away because I literally physically couldn't at that point. And it could be because there would be too many people around me. It could be because I couldn't hear them because like it was really, really loud. It could be anything. If the timing wasn't perfect, then I couldn't even speak. So there'd be times where I'd walk up to a bar and just leave the bar again, even though it was like, and I would go because I just couldn't say the words. And then of course, over time, the more you go to pubs and bars and that kind of stuff. But when I think about all the missed years of all the times I could have spent in a pub, I'm not sure if that's a good or a bad thing. Yeah, just missed out on a youth really, because I just refused to go to a pub. Go figure. And what's it overall like to stammer? And I don't know about other people, and it'll be good to hear some of the stories and the kind of hard or kind of weird stuff that have happened to you because you have a stammer. And it would be interesting to hear some of the stories about some of the things that you do, or the slightly strange stuff. One of the last, I guess, on the everyday things that I think plague me, not so much now, but it did for a long, long time, was the telephone. Just something that you use to speak that's really, really handy. And I'm going to go back before text and stuff, probably when I was about 15. Before we had these, there was a time where you couldn't text, and you used to have to stand in a phone box to call up your friends, or a landline. And times where I would stand in a phone box, and those are the days where, I don't know, a phone call used to cost like 30p, 40p. I'd probably go through like £1 just trying to call up a friend. Somebody would answer the phone, and they'd be like, and I would just try to say the person's name, and they thought that it was like a prank call, but it really wasn't a prank call. I was just, and the telephone is such an amazing thing, but quite a scary thing for a stammerer to use, more so particularly for me if it's like unawares. Not so much now, but as I say, for a long time it was just even having calls at work. You know, I would avoid calls at work. You know, when I was probably in my 20s and before I started to be able to really talk, probably early 20s. You know, I would do things like the button that you press to hold down so you can't get a line. So when you used to put the phone down so it would ring, I used to just make sure that the button would be pressed down at all times, so nobody like could call me. I used to do all these weird things, and I used to avoid the phone to the point where at one point I was probably scared of the phone. Like, I was absolutely terrified that the phone would ring, and I would do everything in my power not to call. And that's things like ordering out for food. You know, just being scared to something that you really, really want to do. Order food, and you can't, or you'd pretend to call, and you'd go, "Oh, it's engaged," because you just didn't want to call. And then, I mean, I fortunately managed to get over that fear, but I just wonder how. And please feel free to send me an email or a message in the chat just to let me know some of the experiences that you've had, and whether or not you can or you can't talk. Just any experiences or some of the strange things that you do because of whatever. You know, this for me is not just about where you stammer. This is about people who do all these other things, who feel like they don't have a voice, who feel like they are alone, and you're not alone. If you ever feel like there's anything that you do that's strange, I'm strange. Like, I appear to be this normal guy, but none of us are normal. So is there anything that you do that you feel is strange, then let us know, because we all have our ways, and we're all part of the same world. And I hope you found this interesting, and as I say, thank you for being here. Don't forget to like, favourite and subscribe, please. I'd appreciate a like, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care. Thank you.